What's up everybody, I'm Derek, this is Rocking eForge, and today I'm going to be forging a simple spring fuller out of this piece of scrap that I got from an estate sale. So let's get rocking. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is prep this material by cutting off the extra, kind of this weird curved section, and then the what looks to maybe be an old branding iron kind of thing down at the other end. I'm just going to use a cutoff wheel on my angle grinder here to knock that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and toss this in the forge and get this thing straightened out because it's got some bends and stuff to it. And I also need to clean up the surface. Actually, I'm going to do that before I throw out the forge. And additionally, I need to cut off a piece of this angle iron to act as the shank that goes in the hardy hole. So I'm just going to do really light blows here to straighten out this piece. Alright, so this might look a little goofy, especially since I just took the time to straighten it out. But I'm going to take this now, and then I'm going to bend this over the horn of the anvil. And that's not too bad. Except I want this to go a little bit extra so that I can bend this portion. So I can bend this portion back the opposite direction. But the idea here is that this weld the shank here, and it's going to sit over the face of the anvil, and that'll be wide enough that I can fit this hammer that I'm working on into the actual spring fuller. Alright, so I'm just bringing this to the post vise here, just to get that right bend in there. And then I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between the anvil and this. Actually, I'm going to, well, I've still got heat here. The goal here is just get it skinny enough to fit on that hammer. All right, and I'm going to go test fit that on the hammer. I'll be right back. Okay, so obviously this needs to skinny down a little bit. And that should get us to where we want to be, which is good. So this little kind of circle will act as the spring. I'm going to cool this down, prep this area for a weld, and weld that to that piece of angle iron that I cut earlier. And we will have a relatively decent little spring fuller. Hey, all right. It's got a little bit of wiggle, but that ain't gonna do too much. Grand scheme of things, they don't look too bad. It don't look good, but it doesn't look too bad. Oh, that's hot up there. All right, so I bet there are still a few of you out there wondering why I would need to make something like this. And the answer to that question revolves mostly around wanting to put a two-sided fuller into something like this hammer that I'm working on without having friends. No, without having the ability, without having three arms, basically, because you have to be able to hold the piece that you're hammering on, hold the hammer, and hammer on that piece. And I don't know about you, but I'm out of hands at this point. So the reason that you make something of this nature is to give yourself like a free hand, so to speak, to hold the top fuller and the bottom fuller in line in one location. Now, before I made this, I had what I call a guillotine tool or something similar that I made here a while back to do a top and bottom fuller without needing to have a striker or any other contraption, right? And this worked really well for me until I started working with a piece of steel that was simply too wide to fit in the dies of my guillotine tool that I had made. This would be solved by making this a wider style guillotine tool or making a different version. Or I could just flip the piece over back and forth, but there's no real guarantee that that lines up perfectly and it could turn out real weird. And given that I just bought a welder, this more traditional style of top and bottom fuller, spring fuller, was going to be the easier option to get the fullering action that I need. So I hope this short video was enlightening, and that will do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you want to support me in the channel further, please consider becoming an honorary striker on my Patreon. That link is in the description below the video, or please consider becoming a member on my YouTube channel. And as always, keep on rocking.